everybody. This is the 2A Street.
2A Street.
I've got co-host Abe over on the other side.
What's good?
It's another fine day that we've got happening out here, Abe. Still in that heat wave.
We're still loving it, though.
Weeks in the, oh yeah, for sure. That little sprinkle of rain last night, my grass was loving it, man. It was good. It was really good. Yeah, no, this is I haven't seen weather like this probably in my entire life living in this region. We're so used to in the summertime you get the heat wave, and then at night it turns into thunderstorms, and then same thing day in day out. So you never really get to enjoy your evenings because the rain starts hitting at about 6, and then during the day you're at work. So it was just one of those things where we just been constant heat, and then even when it rains, it doesn't hit until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So, man, people are out there, they're painting fences, they're cutting lawns, man. Like, work is getting done in the city out there, man. It's funny, but, we were chatting about it a little bit earlier. And we've both experienced this a lot, and in fact, I've been on the receiving end of this before. But it doesn't really hit home until you're trying to do work with somebody and they start doing their own thing. and so what I'm referring to specifically is when people don't listen. When they get some good advice, and it's solid, and somebody's walked the walk, and you still end up going, nah, it's okay, I don't believe you. So we'll say something. Don't swing on that rope swing because somebody got hurt last year. And the guy's like, I got it, and they go and they get hurt. You know what I mean? And so why is it still, after 2,000 years of giving people advice on how not to repeat history, that we still continuously think that we can do something better, that we don't need to listen to our elders, we don't have to listen to the people who have had experience in it, and we still think that we're special and unique by means of that good advice doesn't apply to us?
I think this is a good question because a lot of people right now don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? They think that they got it all figured out by their own self. So they don't need nobody. You feel me? They think that they can Google information and know how to make a video, for example, or know how to do a little something, and they think that they don't need professionals to walk with them. You know what I'm saying? Which is crap. We all need somebody who's been there to help us lead the way. You feel me? Because if you don't have that person right there, you're gonna crush and burn. You're gonna come back. I know that 100. But it seems like in the generation that we're living in, instead of people being smarter and going to the OGs and asking them like, yo, what's going down? How can I get to this next phase of my life? Can you help me out? It's not being that they're going to take away your pride of what it is that you're trying to do, but it's just a matter of saying, yo, listen, you've been there. I need your help. Help me out on this thing right here. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people in the streets don't even want no credit for helping you out. They just want to be there to help you.
Want to see you succeed.
Exactly. Get that W, son, because as long as if you win, we're all winning. You feel me? But a lot of people out here, they're just they're just fixated in this state of saying, I want to do it on my own.
So do you know where that's come from? Because I mean, we've had a couple conversations where we were talking about bringing up the next generation of rappers. And you were saying, hey boys, slow down a little bit. You need to understand where this came from before you can start doing it, because otherwise you're trying to take something that wasn't yours. You know, and we're seeing that everywhere. And I don't know how. I understand that Google gives you the wealth of knowledge of the world in your hand, and sure, people can go through, but why is it that we have to? Why is it that people are so? I mean, is this back to self-centered again, where people just don't want anybody's help from anything else, and they just say, fine, if you're not going to tell me what I want to hear, then I'm just going to Google it and go do it by myself. How do we get there?
We get there because it is self-centeredness. It is self-centeredness. If you don't know something, ask. Because there's people, we're out here, we want to teach you, we want to walk with you, we want you to win more than anything, above anything, we want you to win. But if you don't come and ask those questions, you're going to fail. You know what I mean? Because if I want to be a billionaire, it's not good enough for me to just watch. I got to sit down with a billionaire and understand their mindset,
Yeah.
understand how they do their thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
If I want to make $1,000, I gotta sit down with 1,000 in.
You know?
You know what I'm saying? I understand how they do their thing.
So one of our last episodes, we were talking about brands and what we represent. That was the one where I was wearing the Japan soccer jersey. But we brought up Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
And I started laughing in the middle of you talking because even Sidney Crosby has a coach.
Wow.
I mean, if that right there does not tell you that you need mentors and people in your life, even the professionals that are at the top of their game still have a coach at the end of the day saying, hey man, you need to do this, you need to do that.
And check it out. Even Justin Bieber.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has Carl Lentz,
Yeah.
who is the pastor of Hillsong, New York.
Right.
You feel me?
Yep.
And he's a professional singer. He's
Yeah.
a multi-million
He
dollar
does
guy.
not need Carl Lentz at this point in time in his career, but he still does.
Exactly.
He still has him.
And
Yep.
look at the things that are happening in his life now.
Mhm.
You feel me? We're hearing all of this stuff that's happening because he has a life
Yep.
coach. And we all need that.
Absolutely.
The moment that we start to think like, man, I got this all figured
Mhm.
out, is the moment that you're going to fall, man. I can't repeat that enough. You need somebody to help you along the way.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? And if we don't have those people around
Mhm.
us, you know, we're gonna think that we got it all figured out.
Yeah.
And that whoever it is, your co-equal people, your
For sure.
age mates, whoever that are encouraging you, you know what I'm saying? As much as they want to see you win, they don't have the expertise
Right.
to take you to the next phase.
Right.
And we need those kind of people.
Yeah,
right
for
here.
sure. Did you go through a phase of being on top of your world, didn't need anybody? Did you? I know I did for sure.
Uh-huh.
But because of the transition time of who was talking when, I'm asking you first, I guess. So did you go through that when you didn't need anybody? And then who tuned you in? Because everybody's got somebody that tunes them in one day, you know?
I went through a phase, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, when I thought that I had things figured out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need this guy no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And the guy had warned me, like, yo, you're gonna have people that are gonna come out and they say that, you know, and hype you up.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you are talented, you're
Yeah.
gifted. They're gonna come out and hype you up. You know what I'm saying? But don't listen to them.
Mm.
You know, just be humble and do
Mhm.
your thing.
Mhm.
I did not listen to them. Let's just say I fell from grace.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I did the things that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Instead
end
of
of
what you should have done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having to go back to the dude and say, listen, you was right.
Yeah.
It took a lot
Yeah.
out of me to say that. You know what I'm saying? But I needed this guy.
Yeah.
Because he was more experienced. He
Yeah.
knew the industry. He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
How old were you?
I was 19.
Oh man, you got lucky. I'm telling you now. My fall was when I turned somewhere around 27. So it took a long time for me to get there, and I remember the times of people telling me I was conceited and arrogant, and I remember feeling it as well, and just no man, I don't need anybody for nothing.
Uh-huh.
And but coming down from that fall got me at rock bottom. I'm telling you that I was tying the knot to hang myself, kind of bottom. That's
Right.
how hard my fall was.
Right.
And man, and it was not even a year before when I had the right person tune me in.
Wow.
And unfortunately, that person left my life before I realized it. So then that's what led to the crash. Just like, well, now I have nothing because the only thing that was good is gone, you know? So that was the thing is, man, if you can realize it at 19, damn, get in there and realize it as soon as possible that you need people in your life, because the older that you get, the harder you fall, because you have all of that programming that you've got to get rid of about your self-centeredness, your arrogance, your conceit, and all that you've got to dismantle, and that is hard. To take everything that you thought you were and destroy it, that eats you up, man. It will crush you and destroy you.
Real.
And I mean, maybe that's the reason why we're seeing such these great artists. And man, I'm sad. The lead singer of Linkin Park.
Yeah.
You know?
Chester,
and man, these guys are at the top. They probably had mentors. How do you get to that point, right? Where everything that you had is still not worth it. And man, that's crazy, sad, and humbling all in one. And we've had a lot of great artists in the past 2-3 years just go. We're talking Robin Williams, we're talking Prince. You know, man, what's going on out there?
It's crazy out here, man.
And but I got to lead that back to on the what is it that's happening to these people that's making them fall? You know, it did something like that happen that maybe their dog even the most important thing in their world is gone, so now they have nothing, right? Because money isn't everything. I'm not at all saying that these people were only living it for the money. These people had a passion for their art and a gift for it, and I'm sure that they had mentors in their life. But how did they fall? Right. You know, how do you get down from that and think it's just ain't worth it? Anymore, man? So that's the thing, is that how do we help these people understand that there are people out there that are willing to help them for free, you know, no expectation in return, and just say, listen to the OG, don't make the fall in order to learn the lesson I'm trying to tell you. Is there some way, like, maybe this is the best way. Maybe instead of being an individual talking to them one-on-one and taking them for a coffee, maybe they don't like the personal interaction of that and they put up their fence. So listen to conversations with Abe. Listen to the 2A Street. And then go check yourself. You know?
Here's the thing too, right? A lot of times people they surround themselves with people with yes men. People that are just going hype them up, like, yo, you know, I want some weed. All right, here's some weed. Take 2 actually. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I want a beer. All right, here I got 3 for you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having somebody who say, nah, not today. You ain't gonna smoke no weed today, B. You know what I'm saying? We chilling. You feel me? It's time for you to just relax. But no, the people around them are leeches. So they're coming in here because they know they're going to get a paycheck at the end of the day. So if they start to say, nope, you're not going to do it, they're afraid that they might walk out the door. You know what I mean? But then when you got somebody who's out here, who's saying, dog, you know, no, it ain't the time right now. Wait until next year. We're going to release this stuff right here next year. But you want to hurry up and do it right now. Nah, man, that ain't the way to do it. You got to build that. It's got to be built, Reed. 100.
So do you think maybe that these people are trying to live something that they ain't? And I sorry that I used a black slang there for ain't. I'm starting to hang out with you too much, man. But when you're talking about being authentic and living true to yourself, then you have maturity to wait and be patient, right? And release something when it's due on time. But when you're trying to be something else, you're trying to get that out of you as soon as possible. Number one, because it's uncomfortable, because it's not you. And number two, that you think you're going to lose it if you don't use it. Right? We hear that all the time. Do you think that's the case in some of these people that we're dealing with here? Is that they think that they believe that there's something, but they're not, because they're not being true to themselves yet. So they're jamming it out of their systems. Do you see what I'm trying to say on that one, I guess?
A lot of kids are talented. They are gifted. 100%. There is millions of people out here that are talented. Hollywood is filled with actors, actresses that ain't make it. You know what I'm saying? They're out in the streets selling their bodies. You know what I'm saying? Because the industry is so, in fact, there's so many people, talented people in there. Music, New York City, filled with people. When you talk about ATL, Atlanta, you know what I mean? Toronto, same thing. But here's the thing, you gotta wait for your time. You gotta wait for your time. You can't push things. Because the moment you start pushing things, it's the moment that you're gonna start compromising. When that director says, I want to get laid before you get a feature on my film. You're gonna give your body. You know what I'm saying? When that music producer comes and say, you know what, for you to get to the top, you're gonna have to do something for me. You feel me? Then you're gonna do something. But wait for your time. You know what I mean? Because everything comes at a time. I mean, they say out here, go out there. I always say that. I write about that. You know what I'm saying? But it's got to be a balance where you know that, all right, my time is coming. I'm working towards that. I'm taking steps to get to where I'm supposed to get to. You know what I'm saying? And you don't stop working. But at the same time, understand that when you bring stuff out in the streets, it's got to be good. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to judge you by your work, by the work that you put out. That's right. You feel me? If you put out crap, we going to look at you and say, dog, I ain't never going to look at you again. You know what I mean? You're going to have to work 10 times better now to bring out a product that's going to bring the eyes back to you. Well,
for sure. And we've seen that with a lot of the one-hit wonders that have been coming out. And I really don't want to hate on anybody for this one here. But there are some pieces of music that we've heard come out that realistically don't have any talent in them. The individual hasn't put out anything that's been reasonable, but it's because for some reason the industry picked it up and decided to play it on top 40 that this thing's popular. beat is simplistic. There's no actual singing.
Yeah.
There's no actual rhyming. You
Yeah.
know, and even when we're discussing some of the mumble rappers and all that out
Yeah.
there as well, you're like, what is this?
Uh-huh.
Well, what even is this? The
What
guy's
is
not saying anything. He's just saying a couple different words, and there's a beat behind
Yeah.
it. But yet this guy's making money.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that you're talking about the calm, cautious, educated approach to being successful because you're talented.
Yeah.
Not just because you have an opportunity to make money. And I think that there's a big separation
There
between
is.
the two.
It has
Is
to.
that unfortunately a lot of people that aren't talented don't start making money right away.
Exactly.
Even T Swift out there, how many albums does she have?
Right.
No, you tell me.
I don't even know.
13, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm saying I think because I saw a list of them,
Wow.
but we only know of Red and 1989 and the original one that got her on the country one, and then she went pop. It's
Uh-huh.
only been about 5 years. She released a dozen albums prior
Wow.
to making it, right? So when people say, "Oh, she's an overnight success," no, man, she's been
grinding.
plunking on her. She's been that girl that we talk about in the darkly lit room
Yeah.
with the guitar. She's been that girl.
Wow.
When I first saw her,
Uh-huh.
she was opening for Bryan Adams in Lethbridge. When I
What?
went and saw her, she opened for. She's the opening act for Bryan Adams, and this not even a handful of years ago,
Wow.
kind of thing. And she put out that many albums prior to that. So I'll post the stats
Yeah.
under this video.
That's interesting.
But see, that's the thing is that people perceive her as being this overnight success,
Mhm.
but no, man, she worked
Wow.
all the way up
Wow.
to where she is today. So, you know, based on where she is today, it doesn't really matter, but she earned it. You know,
Wow.
she did some work in order to get there. But that's what you're talking about.
That's
You're
it.
saying you got to go out there and you got to grind. And anybody could have easily picked her up day number one and said, yeah, you got talent, let's escalate you.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not so sure that she would have been to the same level where she's at today.
Exactly.
You know, if she hadn't been grinding out there.
Yeah.
So your point here is to take what you have. If you are talented, you will be found. You will be used.
Oh, man.
You will be utilized.
Yeah, definitely.
But you gotta wait.
Definitely.
You gotta wait.
You have to. And you see, a lot of things that we do out here is that we compare ourselves. I've written about this. Your day one, you want it to look like somebody else's 10 years.
Yeah.
So you're just getting into the industry. I was talking to somebody. They wanted. I told them that write something. So they started writing stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, when am I gonna get paid?
Yeah.
I'm like, what you mean when you gonna get paid?
Yeah.
Look at how long I've been writing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Chill out.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Put your pen on the pad.
Yeah.
Stop writing. Keep on doing it. Because at the end of the day, don't compare your starting point with
Yeah.
where I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't compare. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna compare myself to T.D. Jakes and the books that he's written.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't be looking at Joel Osteen and say, dog, you've written so many books. I want that same kind of
Yeah.
work. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You feel me? I gotta take it easy, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do we get there? How did we get to the point though that as soon as I'm starting my very first step into something that
Yeah.
I think I'm just as good? How did we get there? How did we poison our minds so much that we think our day one is just as good as anybody's year 10?
Uh-huh.
Did that ever shift, or have people been doing that for years over years, man?
No, people have been doing it years after years after year. What was it? Like we had the Beatles, right? And then they had the Monkees.
Okay.
That was a American group version
Okay.
of the Beatles.
Okay, yeah, so there was the Monkees for sure. I don't know about the Bills, but the Monkees was definitely, what you're talking
Yeah.
about there.
So it was a boy band kind of situation,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And they thought that, all right, we're gonna get into the industry and we're gonna do the thing
Sure.
right there. And they didn't amount to nothing. They didn't do much.
Yeah, they had one hit, I think, is
Yeah.
one, and it was a theme song. It turned out to be a theme song for a TV show. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me say this right here. Self-centered,
Mm-hmm.
preoccupied with oneself
Mhm.
and one's affairs.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we get it all wrong.
Mhm.
Is that we're so preoccupied or we're so much centered on me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I bring something out, it has to be the bomb.
Mhm.
Everybody gonna fall for it like they did Eminem's album.
Right.
If I'm gonna bring out something right now, it's gonna be the best thing.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just go out there and do my thing.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta grind.
Mhm.
Look at Eminem. He started out doing battle rap.
Yeah.
Right. Look
Yeah.
at Diddy. He started out from a small office,
Yeah.
and now he's a what is it, a billionaire, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they were grinding out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta pound the pavement and do your thing.
Yep.
And don't stop. Don't be discouraged if you sell 10 copies.
Yep.
You see, that's more than somebody else who sold nothing.
That's
You
right.
feel me? That's 10 people listening to you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And and your opinion or whatever it is that you want to
Yeah.
say. Man, take that as encouragement.
Yeah.
You feel me? Don't just look at it and say, man, I gotta have 1,000 people, I gotta have 6,000, whatever.
Yeah.
You feel me? Chill out, take it easy, breathe out, breathe in,
Yeah.
meditate, take your time, and see where you're gonna get with
Yeah,
that
well,
right
see,
here, 100.
And that's just the thing, though, is that your talent will speak for it.
Uh-huh.
If you have anything, there's no need to rush, because it's coming. It's coming. You just got to get out there, right?
It is.
I just don't know. I know that we always show up and try and be the solutioners, the fixers, and trying to give somebody advice on it. But we also know what it's like to have momentum.
Yeah.
Right? We've enjoyed personal successes. We've enjoyed successes together.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to be like, man, that was us. Let's go do it again.
Yeah.
Go do it again. And it takes a certain level of life experience and a certain level of maturity to sit back and understand and just let things ride.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you don't get maturity and life experience without experiencing some bad stuff sometimes.
Right, yeah.
I just hope these cats realize it at 19 instead of 27. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't know any easier way to say it is that you got to listen to your mentors. You got to get yourself a coach. You got to get somebody that you're listening to. Even you. I see you as a successful blogger, a successful individual, and all the things that you're going for out there. Mm-hmm. But you reflect a lot with Joe Benjamin.
Yeah. Right?
And that's the thing is that you've got Joel Osteen out there as well that you're listening to.
Yeah.
You've got your big book
that
you're reading.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're still seeking guidance in all things that you're doing.
Dog,
right?
listen. You cannot. Jay-Z, he sits down with Warren Buffett.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right? Anybody who's successful, they got somebody in their life who's speaking something in their life.
Yep.
You feel me?
So why am I unique and different, Abe? Why don't I need anybody in my life,
self-centeredness is where it's at. I'm telling you. People is out here that think that they know better than the next person. You know what I mean? When I get into a room, bro, and I find that everybody is dumber than me, I'm walking out. You feel me? I want to walk into the room.
Everybody's smarter than me.
That's it.
Everybody
You feel me? And I want, even if I know something, I'm going to be quiet enough to hear your point of view because you're going to bring it from an angle I ain't never seen in my life.
You know, and that is one thing that I am almost certain on why you and I are successful in what we do in this room. Is because we both understand where the other one is I don't want to say smarter or more intelligent, but we both have our niche, and we understand and appreciate that.
Yeah.
So when we say that we want to be in a room with people that are smarter, we both see each other as smarter in a certain regard.
That's right.
And that's the thing is, and that's why we click so well, is because we're not competing for the space of intelligence in here.
No.
It's that I see something, and we've talked about this before, is I'm like, man, I admire that man for the things that he's saying and the things he's putting out there. And we've actually humbled me quite often on this show for some of the things that your life experience has brought to you because of my siloed perspective of the world. Sure, I'm intelligent on a certain level of street smart out there, but it's not a global intelligence at all. And I look to you for those things, and I'm learning a lot about it. But that exactly reflects our point. We respect each other's intelligence. And so when it comes to Smarter in the Room, we both see each other as something that we can learn from each other. And that's why we're going to be successful for that. And
100.
We're encouraging other people to do the same thing. You've got to find somebody to look to. And sometimes it can be just the book to start. Start with the book if that's what you need to do. But eventually you're going to need to the point where you're speaking with somebody and you have to go with a humble mind and a humble heart to say, Abe, there's some things out there in the world that I don't understand. I thought that I did. I need you to help me understand this. And that's where all of our great culture and race-driven conversations come from. Is because I saw it from one perspective, and then you totally flip it on ear for me. And I really appreciate that. These other people need to start seeing that as well. They need to understand to get in there and get a coach and listen. Go ahead.
There's this cat called Absalom. Absalom took power from his dad, David. And Absalom went over to get advice from the elders that used to work with his father David. And the advisors or the elders say, no, don't go to war.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, nah, let me go listen to my friends right here,
Mhm.
his age mates, people that he grew up with.
Sure.
The people that he grew up with, advisors, came out and said, no, go out there and do 10 times worse than your dad did. So he listened to his bodies out here,
Mm-hmm.
and he went and he did 10 times more than his dad had done, inflicting pain and causing havoc in people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came back to bite him because he listened to the people that was of his of the
Yeah.
same brain caliber, that was of the same age.
Yeah.
No, you gotta be with elders.
Yeah.
I'm an elder now. You
Mhm.
feel me? And I've been through it.
Yeah.
So come and listen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm listening to somebody who's older than me
That's
too.
right. You have an
feel
elder
me?
also. Yeah.
Exactly. And if there's people that are my age mates, they're people that are challenging me.
Mhm.
People that want they have the same drive, same
Yeah.
hunger. You know what I'm saying? They want to be successful.
Mhm.
But if you have people that are your age or younger than you,
Yeah.
always around you, you are bound to fail.
Yeah.
You are bound to fail.
Yeah.
You got to think smarter.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And say, I'm going to bring in people who have experiences, people who have gone
Yeah.
through it,
Yeah.
that I can learn from
Yeah.
and move on forward with
Yeah.
that. You
For
will
sure.
you will succeed.
For
100.
sure. Yeah, well, that's it. Listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, get the advice that you need. It's no, man. I'm not sure that we've got this.
Yeah.
I'm usually relatively confident after we're done speaking to a topic, but in being there in my own experiences and you as well, we both saw the light. I don't know how to say it. I
Mhm.
don't know how to encourage that person that is so self-centered and going out and doing their things, even when the people that they need are right beside them.
Yep.
Right? I mean, sometimes we're talking about people that we see with on the daily
Yep.
that need a little bit of advice and they need to take it to heart. But someone else is picking at their brain saying, no, man, you got this. If not for you, you wouldn't be where you are.
Right,
that kind of
right.
thing. And I'm just not convinced that there's a way that we can say, go out there and just listen to us, because people will always be tempted to be on their own.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, that is one of the enemy's greatest weapons right
Yep.
there, is saying that we don't need anybody in our lives.
Exactly.
And one of our previous podcasts, we're talking about how to pick and choose the people that are in your environment
Right,
and in
yeah.
your circle.
Yeah.
And it's just too easy these days to dispose of somebody that you don't feel is benefiting you, right? And not recognize them, because just because they're not saying what you want them to say to you,
There you go.
you don't need them.
Right.
And I hope that somebody can take this to heart. I hope that they can listen and say, you know what, I need to check myself. I need
Yes.
to go. I need to stop listening to music for a little bit. I need
Yes.
to stop reading books. I need to stop reading, being on Facebook. And I just need to take a second to process and see if who I am and who I'm becoming is who I actually want to be out in the world.
Right.
Because they're putting across a different image than what they actually want to be. But they're so fixated on this goal
Uh-huh.
that they're not even going to get there. But they're not going to realize it till it's too late.
Right. Right.
So, got any final words on that
Nah,
one?
man, I'm good, man. This has been good. This has been good.
this one's a tough one, man.
Yes.
Because we sometimes are talking about people that are very close to us that just don't seem to recognize
Yes.
some of the things, and we're trying so desperate to get into their heads and say, listen, you will have your success, you will have your goals that you're looking for, but just right now, this second is not your time.
Exactly.
You need to give it a week, you need to give it a day, you need to give it a year.
Exactly.
And they need to go and they need to try it.
Yeah.
And hopefully they humble themselves sooner rather than later.
Rather than later. Exactly right.
This has been a good episode, Abe.
This has been nice.
As always, I appreciate your
Man,
insight.
likewise, homie.
If you're looking for Abe, you can find him at Conversations with Abe.
Conversations, yes,
He's
sir.
on Instagram. He's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Find him on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music. Him and I together are the 2A Street.
A Street.
And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.